Hey guys, what's up? Yeah, Johnny Nerd Out. Tomorrow's Thanksgiving. Thought I would just do a quick one tonight. If some of you guys are going to be joining, figure I'll take some of your questions and just wanted to do a quick one. I've been thinking about this a lot lately. Is with Black Friday coming up. Got some things I want to talk about. If you guys are out there buying e-bikes, or if you know some people are buying e-bikes for Black Friday, just want to talk about some stuff like that. But first, let's get some housekeeping out of the way. I am Johnny Nerd Out. I run JohnnyNerdOut.com. We do custom e-bikes. We sell all your custom e-bike accessories, everything you need to turn your bike into a killer e-bike, something that's going to be way more tunable, programmable, longer range, more powerful, fitted to you, lighter weight, costs less money. All of those things. That's what we specialize in trying to get people in. We're trying to educate people on how to make custom e-bikes, how to make them to you. Treat e-bikes like a suit. They should be fitted to you. They should do exactly what you want them to do. So yeah, if you're curious at all about that, go to JohnnyNerdOut.com. We're running a 5% off sale right now. Everything store-wide. We already have, I would say, some of the lowest prices that you'll find by any vendor here in the U.S., and we're running 5% off of those right now. So what's up, Britt? How's it going? So yeah, and if you guys have questions, we do consultations too. Both Shane and I are now taking consultations. So if you have questions about your bike build, you want to make sure you order the right parts. You're like, I don't even know where to begin. Or you're like, you know what, I'm like 90% of the way there. I just want to get this. You could book a consultation with me, or you could book one with Shane, or you could even just drop us a line. You could, message us, go to the website. You could text us. There's tons. You want to talk with me or even, Shane as well. We'll get you squared away. We can build you invoices and all that. But one thing I've been thinking a lot about is this Black Friday stuff. And, because we run a shop, we're listed on Google, I get calls all the time about people with their e-bikes, their pre-made e-bikes, and they're trying to get help because something on it isn't working. It's failed. And it's usually like a brand of a bike that I've never heard of. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't have these parts. Like they use one-off parts. And I do plan on making a video about this, like an isolated one right now. I'm just kind of going freestyle on this topic, but I need to whittle it down and make an actual video about it. But what happens is a lot of these places, even like the big name brands, it doesn't matter who you're buying, you can name any bike. People are always like, name the names. I'm like, you name the name, and I'll tell you, that's just a warehouse in China that somebody here in America that had, a rich uncle is buying 200 of, and they're telling them to slap their label on it, their sticker, and then they're calling it their own. But it's almost no brand is their own. There's very few that actually are, very few. But there are some, but most of them are not. The problem is that a lot of these people, they're trying to get, it's a race to the bottom. They're trying to get the cheapest of the cheap e-bikes. And so you'll see a lot of these Black Friday sales, like $600 for this e-bike. And people are going to be like, oh, we got to get it. It's a great price. But the parts are going to be unserviceable. You're not going to be able to get service from it. You're not going to be able to get help from them. Just beware if you know somebody who's buying an e-bike and they're asking you for help. If you're watching this channel, you probably are, you know better. But it's your duty now to pass on and at least help people not get ripped off on that price that's too good to be true. And that $600 or $700 Amazon e-bike, it's going to be a paperweight the second they need help or they need to get a replacement part. So I really, I feel sorry for the people that they're completely new to e-bikes or even bikes in general. They don't know what to look for. They don't know what's a good buy, what's not a good buy. We get calls all the time. Yeah, people want me to fix their stuff, and I have to tell them, like, I don't carry these parts. They're one-off controllers. They're one-off displays. And if they're bad, they're just bad. And all the wiring is like weird. a motor. I've never heard of this motor manufacturer. It uses weird pinout stuff, and you're kind of SOL when it comes to that. So yeah, if you guys are new to joining here, happy Thanksgiving. Just doing a little quick video tonight. I don't think we're going to go super long, but if you guys had any questions, feel free to chime in. You could just leave a comment, leave a question, you know, what up. Figure we'll all just hang out here the night before. I think, oh no, I was going to say, I think there's a night. Thursday is Thanksgiving. Friday is Black Friday. Thursday night is Blackout Friday. But I don't think today there's a name for anything. So we'll just call it hanging out. Yeah, junk bikes. That's the one thing about, you know, I get my my Google notifications sent anytime something with e-bike news comes up. I'm always seeing $700 off of e-bikes by this brand and I'm just like, oh man, so many people are probably going to be buying them. And you click on them, and the bikes themselves they're junk. Exactly what you're saying, Britt. The bikes themselves are junk. Not even like the battery. We don't even know what kind of cells are in there, how the batteries are packed together, how they're manufactured. We don't know anything about the battery specs, if they're whatever. We know nothing about the motor. It's most definitely a hub motor. We don't know if it's Bafang, what the ratings are, things like that. What the controller is. Is the controller overrated for the motor, or is it barely rated for the motor, so it's going to fail quickly? People don't care about this stuff. They just buy it, and then they just, you know, they're hitting the full throttle all the time, and then it burns out and leaves them crappy, and then like, oh, I'll just pedal home, and then they realize, oh wait, the foundation of this is a junky bike. I'm not going to be able to pedal home. So that's why it's so important to start with a good bike. Like, start with a good bike as a foundation. If you ever do have problems with it, you could still pedal it like a normal bike. You know, going aftermarket DIY is, I don't know, it's way better. Yeah, you could electrify BMX bikes for sure. So get a good BMX that you like, and yeah, electrify it. I plan on doing a video. I want to do a video on that. For some reason, I was thinking about BMXs the other day, and it brought me back to when I was like 14, 15. I used to love BMXing. Growing up in Chicago, I used to bring my BMX in my basement in the winters, and I used to just practice flat landing in my parents' basement on carpet, and then in the summer, just finding little places to go jump over stuff. BMXs are awesome. I haven't done a conversion on one because there just really hasn't been any needs for it. But yeah, I'd love to do a BMX, make a good BMX video. Actually, I do have one. I should show you guys. Actually, it's on my website, actually. Let's see which one it is. So I've got these gravity bikes. They're single speeds. This one's got a Cyclone on it. The single speed Cyclone is a single chainring one. I'm still trying to dial this one in. So most of these bikes are for sale on my website, and not all of them are because I just haven't gotten around to listing them. Sorry, I went portrait. But like the Coast Cycles, these are for sale. Photon motor. I got another one next to it with the BBS HD. These are awesome Coast Cycles. I got to do a bit more videos on this. But the Gravity single speed, this is like a giant BMX bike. This one's got a Bafang on it, BBS02. So if you're looking for like an adult size BMX, this is it. Single speed. You don't have to ever worry about changing gears, braking derailers. It's always in the perfect gear. I got a 36 tooth on it and like an 18 in the back. So it's geared for commuting up to about 20 miles per hour. But this is just like a park bike. This is fun. So yeah, BMXs, totally fun. I like that one because it's a little bit bigger size. You can't whip around as much on it, but definitely single speeds are just fun. All right, cool. Let's see. I'm going to get some more questions here. Thomas H says, where would I find good road settings for an Egg Rider V2? So just so we're clear, I mean, the settings, they would work for anything, whether you got a Egg Rider or you're using the Penoff programming system and you're doing it with a USB cable through a PC. I have a link on my website. If you go under program cable or programming cable, I think there's two links. One is to the free download to the software that you should only be using unless you have an Egg Rider. Then you could use the Egg Rider stuff. But if you don't have an Egg Rider, you only want to be using that Penoff one. A lot of people are using the Speed app. I would say do not do that. Every single time I get somebody, I do a consultation or I get an email from somebody who says they programmed their motor and now it's not working right, it's because they use the Speed app. Just avoid it. Use the Penoff one. I got links to it on my my product page. And there's also another link to a blog that I forget, Carl at Electric Bike blog did. I mean, he killed it. So check that out. And there's awesome settings, however you want to do it. And he explains all the different settings. So definitely go to that. Let's see. What do you got to say, Britt? Seems like e-bikes are either super cheap or crazy priced for a factory bike with good powertrain. Absolutely. It's like feast or famine. There's almost no such thing as just a good value bike with awesome components. If you're okay getting like a hub motor, I would say like Ride One Up is like a decent, they're actually like a decent value for what you get, but you have to be, as long as you're okay getting a hub motor. I haven't really seen that they have any mid-drives. Saunders used to be really good at their value. I mean, you used to be able to get their fat bikes for $500. So, I mean, now I think they're a lot more, and I don't even know what they're doing anymore. But Saunders used to be excellent value, but I don't know what they're up to lately. I know they came out with their motorcycle. I don't know what they're doing with their e-bikes, but yeah, it's either complete junk, and you're still spending $600 for it, or if you want to get something with good components, you got to spend at least $2,000, but then you're way overpaying for what you're getting. So it's just so annoying. Andrew Kemp says, is there a specific brand of chain that you find to be more durable? KMC chains don't seem to last very long with my mid-drive. I'm snapping them every 500 miles. That's not lasting very long. I use KMC chains. I carry all the KMC chains here, actually. I wonder which model you're using. You might want to switch up to a more premium one. And then the other thing with chains is if you're using like tons of power, there's only so much power you can put through a bicycle rated chain, human powered bicycle rated chain. If you're using your gears really good, like starting off in your first gear and not sending 1500 watts through it all the time, they should be lasting more than that. Even I'm getting I would say at least 1,000 miles per chain. I don't even know when the last time I had to replace a chain was. It's probably been 2 years on mine. So yeah. Hank Elliott, getting ready for your second build, specialized roll. Right on, man. BBS HD. Yeah, that's what I got. I got a specialized roll. I got the Photon on mine, but I would recommend going with the BBS HD for plenty of reasons. But yeah, cool. I think I remember your name. You sound familiar. I'm pretty sure you've bought from us, so appreciate that. Appreciate all you guys who support the shop. Actually, I mean, all you guys are, everybody who supports the shop has done it totally organically, just through YouTube videos. And it's just it's really cool how this totally started totally grassroots, and it was, everybody just supported. I didn't do I've never taken out ads or anything. I've never done that. I've never tried to just reach people. Everything is just from people who have found me through either YouTube, word of mouth, things like that. And I kind of like it that way because I feel like I automatically have a built-in rapport with you guys. A lot of people, when they message me or they do things, they're like, man, I feel like I already know you because I've seen so many of your videos and stuff, and I feel super confident in building this, and it's like, that's what I want, and that's why I kind of want to keep it. So yeah, anyways, thank you guys. Thank you, Hank. Let's see, Bob Walker, those great prices on the yet to be available website. DMSO 750 watt torque sensing. That's with accessories, all include. What's the DMSO? Is that the? You talking about the Bafang, Bob? I'm not sure. It will be with all the accessories though. So whatever is listed on there, I always try to include everything in there, so there's no like gotchas. The only thing that some things are not included, like with my Bafang motor sometimes, are like headlights, things that are like, man, I don't really need that, or like an install tool. I'm going to be updating that on the BBS HD. I first did the BBS O2s where, you don't need to have brake cutoffs, things like that, because not everybody uses them, and I don't want to charge people if they're not using that stuff. So I'll be upgrading that with the BBS HD and probably the CYC stuff on my site too. Let's see, Mike Garcia, have you seen a product called Pegels? They are folding cranks that make you pedals like foot pegs. I haven't, I don't think, unless I'm thinking of something else, but they make you pedals like foot pegs. Oh, I guess I could see it. So that looks like it would hurt the inside of your foot. I feel like if you're putting pressure on it, maybe I'm picturing the wrong thing, but I feel like I like the big platform pedals because then your whole foot is on there, and that if you're putting a lot of pressure on it, it's spread across your whole foot. But I don't know. Might be cool if you're not pedaling. That would be kind of cool to just have Pegels. Let's see. Oops, let's see. I feel like Saunders I think they tried to focus. I feel like they kind of did like what Lunicycle is doing. They're shifting more to like motorcycles and more higher priced things. I think, and I think I kind of understand why. I mean, as I've grown into doing e-bikes, I do a lot of online sales now. There's not a whole lot of margin on it. You don't make a whole lot of money on this. So I could see why they're trying to sell more motorcycles and more $3,000 to $4,000 to $5,000 ticket items, because they can make $500-$600 per sale. And I think they're trying to get out of the e-bike business. It's like, nah, why do I want to make $50-$60 per motor, battery, or whatever when I could be making 10 times that per sale? So yeah, I think Saunders probably is. They're trying to do that. They're trying to go all in on their motorcycle. Their what's the name of that one? Metacycle. I don't know how that one's been selling. I kind of lost track on that one. I don't know if anybody out there has got one. If you want to chime in on how you like it, but I don't know. For me, I'm still like, man, for $6,000 for a Metacycle, I'd still rather just convert a motorcycle. I'd rather buy a motorcycle for $500, something that's got a blown motor but is in really good shape and got a clean title, and then I'd rather put $1,500, maybe $2,000 of exactly what the specs I want into it, a big motor and a big battery, and then I got something that I built myself for all in $2,500. So I don't know. That's just me. I know that a lot of people are out there are like me, and a lot of people are not, and it's to each their own. I just rather would spend less than half and have the same product, but on like a cool vintage retro motorcycle. I don't know. Anyways, off on a tangent. The new motor, Sort 27. Yeah, the 27. I think I got my final invoice from them. I'm going to be getting those ordered up next week, so they'll probably be here. They said hopefully in time for Christmas. I'll be able to offer them for sale. So yeah, it's going to be limited accessories with them, I think, for a little bit. I hopefully they come out with a couple new displays. The display they have is fine, but I get kind of spoiled with the Bafang displays where you get a whole bunch of different options, different sizes, different functionalities and stuff. So hopefully 27 can catch up with them with their displays and their accessories. I mean, like the light kit that I have for Bafang is awesome. It's worth every penny on it. But you can't use it for any other system. So I don't know. Hopefully other ones like 27, they could catch up. Even CYC, the CYC headlight is great, but it's just a headlight. The Bafang light kit that I have, it's a headlight, tail light, brake light, horn, turn signals. I mean, it's great. Speaking of, Hank Elliott says he's got trouble with the light set. I have not, but you may have a wire. Could be a wiring issue, pinch or something like that. But let me know if you did get that light kit from me. Reach out to me. Let me know. Reach out to me. You could text me at the number, the shop number. I could probably help you a little bit more. I might be able to like, there was a small batch error issue, a recall that we had to do a recall on them, but there was only about 10 lights. So yours might have been affected by it. But if you reach out to me, I can let you know if your thing is, and if it was, we could get you a new one sent out. So, thanks, Brett. I really do appreciate that. That's nice. Andrew Kemp, have you ever installed a mid-drive with a roll-off? I have not. I get a lot of requests for it. It's so weird, and I probably do myself a disservice, but I always seem to talk people out of it because the roll-off is just so expensive. It's like $1,300, $1,400 by the time you get everything, and then you still have to build it into a wheel. So you're looking at like $1,500, $1,600 just for that setup. And at that point, you're like, man, I could have bought a crazy good bike, motor, like you could be all in. You could buy 2 e-bikes over before you just got one roll off, just the part of it. So it's hard for me to recommend it. But if you're, Daddy Warbucks, and you just got money just falling out of your pockets, then yes, like a dream build, absolutely, I would say. But normally I'm telling people like there's way better ways to spend your money. But if money is no object, absolutely go roll off. Brad Nelson, when I see 6 people on a 125 motorcycle in the Philippines, I wonder what kind of e-bike would look like for them. What kind of e-bike would look like? Probably a cargo, bike. Yeah, get along. They would be awesome on like a long tail cargo bike with a mid drive on it. Check out like the Kona Utes or something like that. I would get that, or like a Yuba Mundo, like any cargo extra cycle, any type of cargo bike with a long tail on it. You could probably fit 3 or 4 kids on it and do it safely. You get the monkey bars or whatever, the hula hoop. And they actually have like a rail that'll keep them safe, and they're not just like a family of possums going down the road. We've all seen those Instagram videos of like 12 people on a motorcycle going down the road. Absolutely, they should be getting a mid-drive e-bike that could still do 30 miles an hour, but they could have, even put a trailer on the back and trail a kid or 2, and then keep 3 kids on the back. There's just so many options. I would get, something like that. Way better option. And I don't know what the price would be, but I'd say at least a little bit better. Thoughts on kickstands? I'm thinking center stand. Rear mounts are definitely better. They're less tippy. It's just the way that the front wheel turns and all that. Center stands are okay, but definitely if you want to go premium, you want to go rear mount. But a lot of times bikes have the center stand hole right by their bottom bracket, so you can mount them really easily. You might want to just take advantage of that, but I would, unless you got like a long tail cargo bike. Like I got a mid-tail cargo bike, and a center mount kickstand works great for it. So it kind of depends on your bike, but if you got a standard bike, generally you want to go rear mount. Gentle grinding noise from BBS02, even with motor off. You might need to re-grease your motor. It's hard to say gentle grinding noise. It's kind of hard to diagnose that, but yeah, you might need to re-grease it. It could be a lot of times when that grease starts drying up or starts like not being effective, it starts making noise. That the motor, the gears, there's planetary gears in there, and as that grease becomes ineffective, it starts making noise. And so that's always good. People always ask me like, what's the re-grease schedule on those things? I usually say it's like a car, like every 3,000 miles approximately, or if it starts making noise, do it before. You want to make sure you get all the old grease out and then just put in just enough grease, not so it's like caked in, but you also don't want to put in too little. So I know that's not very helpful. Don't do too much and don't do too little. Let's see. My BBSHE died on me randomly after going outside in the cold and never turned back on. Did I somehow fry something? Hard to say. I doubt it. Most of the time, those weird things that happen like that, like it just died out of nowhere, It's usually like a plug that came undone or a cable that got pinched. It's usually a wiring problem that you didn't realize it, but as you were riding, like something happened or something got pulled out, something got yanked out. Check all your connectors. Check out my troubleshooting video that I have, like e-bike not working. Check that out. That usually solves 80% of all stuff. I need to make a updated version of that for the Bafangs because there's a lot more that we could go into. Swap out the M400. Which one is that one exactly? You're gonna have to let me know which motor exactly are you talking about, Chris? Is that for a aftermarket, or are you talking? Is that the picturing? Bafang uses like the dumbest, like the M625s, M635s, M315s, and there's too many. I like going by their street names, like the BBS HDs, stuff like that. I forget which one you're talking about. I forget which one the Ultra is. If you're talking about the Ultra or what. Any tips on how to not snap a chain on a mid-drive? Use your gears properly, making sure that you're pedaling at least like 70 to 80 RPM with it. If you're slower than that and you're putting max power, you're gonna snap a chain. Just don't ride it like that. And it depends. Like, are you riding it, pedaling it, or are you riding it throttle only? If you're riding throttle only, you should be doing it like 100 RPM. You should be shifting it like a motorcycle towards a red line. If you're using throttle only on these Bafangs, you want to be redlining that motor before you shift up to the next one. If you're pedaling, you want to be doing like 80 to 90 RPM ideally before you shift up. Lots of service tips online about mid-drive new grease. Yeah, there's tons of videos up on Do It and stuff like that. So, what are your pre-made lightweight commuter e-bikes recommendations? Man, it's so hard. I try to, every time I see pre-made e-bikes, I just get upset because I'm like, this is a rip-off. I could make this so much cheaper. But I know that, and then I always go back, I'm like, well, not everybody is handy. Not everybody feels like they want to build something. They just want to have something good to go. They just want to have it out of the box ready to go. There's plenty of like the 10 ways. Hopefully, I don't know if they're going to be around in a couple years. They got some good lightweight stuff. Ride One Up has got some lightweight stuff. Lunicycle did have a super lightweight commuter bike with a battery in the frame and an internally geared 3-speed hub. I don't know if they still do or not, but that was a cool bike. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I think, let's see. Chris, you said you got a Max Drive. I'm not familiar with the Max Drive. You must be dealing with like a pre-made e-bike. If you're dealing with like that one that looks like the Ultra, you just got to make sure it's got the right mounting. Some of them are swappable. You just got to make sure that the mounting bolts are the same, because sometimes in those Ultras, if that's what you're talking about, the bolting pattern can be slightly off, and it looks like it'll fit, but it won't. So I don't know how you could measure that, but you might want to just kind of double check. Yeah, Priority bikes. Yeah, they make some cool belt drive bikes too. I mean, belt drive. Funny enough, I got a Priority bike right here I bought years ago. Still like practically brand new. I haven't even taken this off. I've been trying to outfit it with a belt drive. I put on a Bafang on it. I got to get a new front chainring. It's just, getting the shop up and running and everything going. It's just all my little side projects like this just fall to the wayside. This is like a 2-year project in the making that really, I just need like maybe 2 or 3 more hours to finalize it and I just need to order the right front chainring, something that has, the right thing. And then the Bafang, hey, you want a belt drive? No problemo. I'm going to sell all the adapter stuff so you could convert your stuff to that. So I got all these grand ideas. I just need to like sit down and make sure I get more than 15% of them out. But a lot of stuff is happening. I'm not just all talk. We are getting a lot of stuff out. We're making a lot of innovation, a lot of changes here, which is really good. Got a lot of stuff in the burner. I try not to talk about too many things because I don't want I don't want you guys to think that I'm a flake. Like that motorcycle conversion took me like 2 years to finish just because I moved and everything. And it was like, I started feeling like a flake, but finally got that pretty much done. And that's awesome. So I really want to start doing more motorcycles, helping people out with more motorcycles. I think that's going to be the biggest change. I was reading, I don't know if you guys saw that report that e-bikes they're changing, they're like lessening the pollution, the emissions way more than everybody thought because a lot more people are riding them and they take so little energy. Even if you're charging it, takes like no pollution. I think that motorcycles could be the next one that could make a bigger impact. And I do think that after that, retrofitting vehicles are going to be even bigger. I mean, that's going to be the big thing. If we could get car conversions down to like $5,000, including like 100-mile battery and powerful motor, and make it easy so that anybody can do that themselves over like a weekend or possibly a week. And you could buy an old junky, not an old junky car, but an old nice car with a blown motor, convert it, and for $5,000, you got something that is zero emission with an asterisk because it all depends on how you're charging it. Anyways, that was a tangent, but yeah, let me see. Where are we at? Cool. Thanks, Sean. Yeah, appreciate you. Let's see, many more e-bikes on the rail trails, the older folk getting out on them. Yeah. I mean, it's keeping people more active. I don't know if that's a positive thing for you or a negative thing. I could take that either way. The older folk getting out on them. But for the older folk, that's good because they're able to, they feel like they're 30 again. They feel like they're 15 again. I mean, it's great for them. So I think it's good for everybody. When you got people that are enjoying their lives again, it makes everybody's quality of life better. So I think it's good. I just want people to be doing it responsibly and like with some know-how so they could repair their own stuff and all that. Are you super excited about anything new? Technologies coming down the pike? Anything you're working on? Great question, Brad. Yeah. Working on getting some UL listed batteries here. I know I think that's going to be the next big thing. So I'm really working with my suppliers on offering a UL listed version. I know not everybody needs one or wants one, but a lot of people do. And I want to be offering UL listed stuff. There's going to be a premium to it, obviously, because you have to get it tested at a laboratory, each batch of motors, and it costs a lot of money. It can cost up to $60,000. I've been getting quotes for just to test these batteries. So, but obviously that's like, it depends on, there's different testing laboratories and things like that can do it. But obviously I'm not going to spend $60,000 on just to get it tested. That would add so much onto the price of each battery. But I am excited about that. We got some new batteries. We got some 52-volt Shark batteries they're graphene based, which has been pretty cool. I want to say it's graphene based. It's not graphene pure, but I'm excited about those. We have those in stock, and they're rated at 60 amps continuous BMS, which is pretty crazy. That's like 3,600 watts continuous on a fully charged battery. There's a lot of promise to these graphene batteries. They're made by a company called Appear. You can go on my website. They're for sale now, and I got a link to their website if you want to learn more about that. But graphene has been like the one. It's like the metal source that we've been waiting for, and they're saying that they're using it's a small amount of graphene in it. It's not pure graphene, but they're saying that their test results are really impressive. So we'll see. I'm offering them. I'm trying not to like be their salesperson, but I'm trying to just say, hey, this is what they're saying. Let's wait to get some real world results back. It sounds promising. We've been selling them now for a few months, and I don't think I've had one complaint with these batteries yet, which has been great. So thank you for all you guys who have been testing them out and having great experiences with them. They say that there's twice the lifespan. They could handle twice the output without getting stressed. So like these things, like full power on these things is not even causing them to sweat at all. And charging them super fast, they could be charged up to like 10 amps, although the BMS will limit it to 5. And the BMS will limit the discharge to 40 to 60, depending on which battery you get, even though they said they could handle 100 amps, no problem. The other cool thing is with belt drives, Veer is coming out with a new multi-speed belt drive system. That'll be really cool. I was talking to them at the micromobility thing. They said it's going to be under $300 for the system. I'm like, this is going to be sweet. So I want to get more involved with them. Just talking with my good friend Sean today. You guys have seen him on some of my other videos. We built tandem bikes. We built that moped. I've been really getting the itch. I want to make version 2 of that moped. I want to be offering that for sale soon. I want to be like putting something in production. I want to be manufacturing it here in America, and I want to be offering my own bike. It's hard to say like to go which style bike you want to, but that's what I'm currently really excited about. And I also got my Ford Ranger that I need to start tearing apart and electrify that one as well. But I'm excited about working on version 2 of the moped this winter with Sean. So yeah, I guess those are the things that I'm excited about. The new pre-made e-bikes look pretty tough. I guess it depends. Yeah, they look tough. Yeah, they're built like tanks, which means that they don't handle good and they don't want to be pedaling them without any motors. They're what we call bike-shaped objects. They're just, yeah. And that's the other thing is I get comments all the time where people are like, you don't want to be converting a bike. They're not made, the frames can't handle it. And I'm like, what bikes are you riding? Are you riding the ones that are straight from Amazon or straight from Walmart, like the $100 Target bikes? Because yeah, those probably not. But if you're buying anything, even like a 15, 20, 30, 40-year-old good mountain bike, or even like a good road bike, like something that was good back in the day, Specialized, Trek, whatever, totally fine. Absolutely fine. You really got to just really be riding in properly and beating the crap out of it to have the frame not be able to handle it. And the crazy thing is, these big beefy pre-made e-bikes, they're using like 500 watt hub motors, which are like the gentlest motor. There's like the only strain those things do is on the spokes and on the dropouts. The mid-drive motors that I sell and we install on bikes, those things are putting out crazy power. They put a lot of strain on your chain. Especially if you're using it improperly, they can put a lot of strain on chain. People are like, oh yeah, that's a big negative, but it's like, it's a slight trade-off. To have that power available is way worth the small possibility that you might break your chain or something. And the more you ride it, the more you get used to riding it. It's just like riding a manual transmission car. If you're not shifting properly on it, yeah, you're gonna ruin your clutch. You're gonna ruin the stuff. But the more you ride it, the better you get good at it. Race car drivers prefer driving manual transmission. They like to have that precision on it. But it's way more pronounced on an e-bike though. So not an apples to apples comparison, but, the belt drive chain ring for the BBS HD isn't very available. Yeah, I'm working on, getting some. I want to get some. I think I want to work with Priority and try to get some of their chain rings. I keep forgetting to order it. I need to write it down. I need to tattoo it on my hand. Or on my forehead backwards. When I wake up in the morning, it says order chain ring for belt drive. Yeah, because I need to finish that so that people can do it. Hey, Randy Brewer. Thanks, Randy. Did a super chat. Appreciate you. That was cool of you. Did you have a question or anything? Be happy to answer any questions or anything, but that was really cool of you. Thanks, Randy. Let's see. Watching makes me want to get those first steps in opening your own e-bike shop in the future. Yeah, that's the thing is like, you can totally open up your own e-bike shop. And I've made videos on this. It's like, should you, could you, what would you do? I did it. Obviously I come from a very unique background where I worked in conversion shops. I've worked in not several, but I've worked in a few different conversion shops doing conversions for different, companies. Many of them you guys have known. And then I was the head tech of a few different e-bike brands. Many of them you guys would know. And then I was like, I hate doing this. I'm going back to conversions. And then, yeah, I kind of have a little bit more of a leg up, I would say, than most people do, but still shouldn't stop you from doing it. Do it out of your garage. So that's the other thing is I deal with people, and if you guys want to, if you're doing that, if you're really thinking about doing that, talk to me because I will work with you. If you order more than just like a couple of kits, if you want to order like 2 kits from me, I'll give you a better discount. I really have a soft spot for working with people who are trying to do this as a business and try to help people and try to spread the words. And if you're out there repairing these motor kits and stuff like that, more power to you. And I know you got to start somewhere. Not everybody can just go out there and get a brick and mortar store. Took me a while before I could get this one. So yeah, if you're in your garage working on stuff, start listing on Craigslist. Start being like, hey, looking for a conversion, start lower your price so you can get more, and then get, as you start getting really good at it and you're able to crank them out quick, you can start raising your price up a little bit. Sorry about that. Yeah, let's see. What are your thoughts on the BBS HD upgrade kit? BBS HD upgrade kit. Well, I'm not sure what you're talking about, Hank. It has a bigger controller. Are you talking about the one from Luna Cycle? I'm not quite sure. They did have one. It was like it would run up to 72 volt, like 4,000 watt. I don't know. I would just say if you're going that, just go with the X1 Pro by CYC. If you're trying to run 72 volt, if you're trying to go anything more than 1,700 watts in the BBS HD, go with the Cyclone, or go with the, not Cyclone, sorry, CYC. Go with the X1 Pro. Andrew Kemp, you got one of those Pure batteries and you like it? And let me know. Did you get it from me? If you did, thank you. What type of motor and controller are you using? I am using the QS motor. It's the, which one is it? I always get the model number. It's a QS motor, the 3,000 watt. I want to say it's like 90H 173 or something like that. I talked with QS Motor and I've got 10 motors here now. They're on my website. I've got the 4,000 watt version now. And part of me is tempted to swap it out for the 4,000 watt. He said it's more torquey. I'm like, that's what I want. I want more torque. I don't really need top speed. I don't need to do 80. I wanted to be able to do like 60, 65, but I'd like to be able to get up to it quick. Currently the controller that I have on there is a Sab Voton. I am carrying the, what are the other 2 ones? They got weird names. I'm drawing a blank now. And the other 2 controllers, the Sab Voton is kind of big and bulky, but it's super easy to pair with Bluetooth and you're able to program it pretty easily. So I like that. The other 2 Far Driver. And then there's another one. Those ones are nice because they're smaller and I really want to get good at using them. I don't know. But I got a new battery coming. I'm going to start offering batteries as well. I've been getting these things. I've been working on getting a custom-made battery. I got one battery that I had Bicycle Motor Works make for me. Custom made it like 2 years ago, but it only puts out 100 amps. And it's their beefiest one that they had, or I think they still have. I don't even think they have. They made it custom for me, so I don't think they even have this one. But I'm getting one made by my other supplier, and it's going to do 150 amps. So, 84 volts times 150 amps, and it's going to be 40 amp hours. It's going to be pretty huge. So hopefully I'll get that, and I'll be able to offer those to you guys out there if you're thinking about doing a motorcycle. Randy Brewer. Cool. Thanks, man. Built your own because of your videos. I'll take that as a compliment. Hopefully it's still a good thing. If you ride semi-aggressive, 1,800 miles on it, when should you re-grease it? I always say do 3,000 miles or when it starts making noise. If you start noticing that it starts making like you start hearing it's hard to describe what that sound is, but you start hearing the motor. Then you want to re-grease it. Take all the motor out, take all the motor grease out, put in some Mobil 1 synthetic grease. Like that stuff right there, if you can see it. And yeah, it should be good. How do you go about torquing on BBS HD motors these days? I torque one on with a Luna wrench and it eventually came to use 1.5 years later. That's a great question. Don't tell anybody, but this is what I use. Coupled with this impact wrench. I don't play around. I go for speed here in the shop. I know when to torque it down. People never torque down their inner lock ring enough and it comes loose. I use an impact and it never comes loose. So people are always like, I don't know, what are you doing? I torque the crap out of it. I treat it like it's a lug nut, and they never come loose on me. So when people say that their things are always coming loose, I'm always like, you're not tightening enough. The one thing about that is if you have like a press fit adapter, sometimes they still will just come loose because there's nothing really to come in there, bite into. If the inner diameter of your bottom bracket is too big, that little lock ring with the teeth in it, it just won't bite onto it. Then you want to use a torque arm. If it's still coming loose, get a torque arm for it and just call it a day. MVOLO variable geared hubs with 750 watts. Yeah. That's probably pushing the peak of it. If you're beating on it, if you're a throttle guy, don't go with the NVOLO. If you're a pedal assist guy and you're just looking for a little assist, NVOLO's is fine. Same with all those pretty much internally geared hubs. Brit Weir, that's great. As many folks have a good old bike and would like an e-bike. Yeah. Even a 40-year-old bike with rim brakes is, if it was a good quality, is still, I would rather take that converted with a BBS02 and a small battery that you're all in for $700 than going and buying any pre-made e-bike for $1,000, for under $1,500. I'd rather take that 40-year-old one that needs new brake pads because it's dry rotted. I'd put the $5 of brake pads into it and I'd have a killer e-bike. It drives me insane. Happy Thanksgiving. Yeah, I noticed you stopped using the Cyclone mid-drive. Is it outdated? Cyclone, man, Cyclone, I have a love-hate relationship with the Cyclone. It's a dumb motor, but it just works and it puts out tons of power. As a vendor, it was very frustrating because it was too advanced for people to install. It was almost like I think people were overthinking it, but I would get so many people saying it doesn't work. They'd send it back to me. I'd plug it in and it works. And I'm like, you didn't do it right. And then I would have to pay for shipping back and forth because they're saying it's a warranty. And so as a vendor, Cyclone was it was very frustrating to sell. And the quality control from Cyclone was all over the place. A lot of times they would send out greasy motors. Customers were pissed. They're like, it looks like somebody spilled grease all over this. I want to send it back for one that isn't. And it's just like, this is how they come from Cyclone. Like, it's not me pouring grease on it. So I decided to stop selling it because I got way too many complaints. It was like 50-50. People were like, it's not working, or I broke this thing. I need a new one, and I want you to pay for it or something. And it's just like, I can't. Bafang is just way better. So I was like, I can't. I was going to go broke if I kept selling Cyclone. So maybe in the future, I might go back to selling Cyclones, but man, I don't know. Oh, hey, High Voltage. What's up, man? He's talking about the upgrade kit. We do. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I know. So here's the thing. I'm glad you chimed in, man. I'm glad you're watching. It's up to you. I like the CYC, the X1 Pro, because it's torque sensing. It's made for it. It runs 72 volts. If you've already got the Bafang, here's the thing. If you've already got the Bafang, yes, upgrading it's a pretty cheap upgrade. I don't know, maybe High Voltage can chime in on how much it is. It's a cheaper upgrade to just upgrade what you have. It's kind of like converting a bike than buying a pre-made one. It's much cheaper if you already have a bike to just upgrade it. If you're starting from scratch and you're looking for 4,000, 5,000 watts, whatever, I would say go X1 Pro straight out of the gate. But if you already got the BBS HD and you're like, I just want a little oomph, then go for it. David Fuller, man, thank you. What's up? Thank you for the Super chat. That was nice of you. Appreciate you. Your name is also familiar. I think we've talked recently, haven't we? I think either we've talked on email or you did a consultation with me. And also, if you guys are just tuning in, I do consultations. If you guys have questions about whatever, you're like, I'm thinking about buying this bike. I'm thinking about upgrading this bike. Well, how should I do this? You want to save money. You don't want to order multiple parts because you want to save on shipping. You want to just get everything done once. I could get you 99% of the time. I can never promise that I'm perfect, but I could probably save you at least 99% of the way I could get you there. I could foresee you're going to need these adapters, spacers, specialty parts, whatever. Most likely I've done your bike. If not, I've done one very similar. And I know what adapters, spacers, pratfalls you're going to fall into, and I could kind of help you do it. So anyways, thank you, David. Currently doing a BBS02 conversion on a Marin Bobcat Trail, Sturmy Archer X. Cool. Nice. I've done the Bobcat Trail 3. It's a good bike. I've had the Sturmy Archer RK5 on my bike. It's a great internally geared hub. I got just shy of 2,000 miles on it. I could have had a lot more if I wasn't such a numbnuts and kept it adjusted properly. But I let it get out of adjustment for too long, and I was running too much power out of it, and I was a dummy. So, yeah. So if you got impact guns, so you can see in the background, I use the Ryobi ones. Those are like light duty ones. I do not say don't do heavy duty. Don't use pneumatic ones. That one, you might snap some things off of your motor. This one I use because it's just a hair above doing a rubber mallet or using, a breaker bar. Obviously, Ryobi, they're perfect for this because they're not super heavy duty. They'll barely get a lug nut off of a car, but they'll put a interlock ring on your bike perfectly. I always say don't use a pneumatic one, but use this. I'm adding a mid-drive to a recumbent trike. Do you stock a wire stretcher? Wire stretcher? I'm not sure what you're talking about for wire stretcher, but I do sell connectors, extension cables. Whether you need one for CYC or Bafang, yes, I carry the extension cables. For the main wiring harnesses, I carry all the extension cables, speedometer sensor extension cables, battery extension cables. I've got all the extension cables you need, if that's what you mean. I don't recommend stretching the cable, but might just be nomenclature we're talking here. Do you use the open source firmware upgrade firmware? Do you see the benefit? If you're just talking about the Penoff one, yeah, it's great. If you're talking about a different one, I don't know. Let's see, where are we at? Black Friday deals. I'm not going to do any Black Friday deals. I'm doing a current one. I've been running it from the beginning of November until the end of the year. It's 5% off everything. Our prices are already I try to keep them super competitive with everybody, if not beat everybody. And I'm doing 5% off of that. So yeah, that's my Black Friday. It's currently going on right now while supplies last. I can't do any pre-orders or anything like that. So, yeah. Yeah, I don't know what the longevity of the X1 Pros are. I don't know what the longevity of anything CYC is. So it's kind of like, you gotta balance your use case, because Bafangs are awesome that if anything does go on it, they're super easy and cheap to replace. I carry all the replacement parts for Bafang. You melt the nylon gear, it's what, $15 for a new one? It's stupid cheap to replace Bafang stuff. People are always like, how long should I expect this Bafang motor to last? And I'm like, until whenever you get sick of repairing it. It's super cheap and it's super easy to open stuff up and just swap stuff out. And there's 20 pieces inside the motor. Whenever it breaks off, just open it up and replace it and you're back on the road. There's no reason, I don't even know what would possibly, unless you shatter it, you throw it off the Eiffel Tower and it shatters. That's the only way you could kill a Bafang. Even if you get water damage to it, just replace the circuits that got damaged, and you're back on the road. They will literally last forever. So, yes, there is some wisdom in hot rodding a Bafang if you want to get that crazy power over going CYC. But yeah, if you like torque sensing, you got to go CYC. Yeah, absolutely. Going with a super high end torque wrench, impact wrench, you could crush your frame. Absolutely, especially if it's carbon fiber, but do not, obviously, just use your common sense. Yes, for sure. The Bike Tricks XD mid drive that is a dual chain, standard chain for pedaling. It's an interesting concept. It's weird. Whenever I see that stuff, I'm like, just kind of, I'm like, just pick a lane. Like, what are you trying to be? A lot of these e-bikes are trying to be motorcycles, and it's kind of like, just get a motorcycle. Like, I don't know. After riding, because, I've been messing around with these super high powered e-bikes for a while. And I built bikes that'll do 50, 60 miles an hour. And at the end of the day, I'm like, it's almost like scary fast to go 60 miles an hour on a bicycle. I'd rather build something that's fast acceleration. I think BBS HD is fine. Build something that'll do 35 miles an hour on a bicycle. That's fine. If you want to do more than that, I do strongly recommend, like, all right, pick what is your goal? If you're looking to do 40, 45, just get a motorcycle, like convert a motorcycle. They're crazy fun. That's where somebody was telling me, like, e-bikes are a gateway into electric motorcycles. And it absolutely is, because you start getting that 45, 50 miles an hour on a bicycle. You're like, whoa, that was cool. But it's kind of like you see the end of the tunnel. Move into a motorcycle. So it's cool, but I'm also like, I don't know what they're trying to do. And for that price, build exactly what you want. Let's see. Just upgraded the new 2.7. Why not just a regular torque wrench set to 80 pounds? Yeah, I mean, so you'll have to. I want to stay in touch with the 2.7. Oh, and I'm gonna have to jump off here in a minute. We're just at about an hour. The 2.7 motor is gonna be very interesting. And you'll have to let me know, high voltage, if you get any cool hacks or something like that with those motors to really do something. You could also, as high voltage says, you could also just set a regular torque wrench to 80 foot-pounds, or it's like Newton meters, whatever. I think they call 55, 65 Newton meters is what they call for, but I would just say go more. Like, you almost can't over tighten these things within reason. So just go, Britt Weir stripper. Are you offering? I'm not sure what that is. What are we talking here? The items are far apart on a trike. Yeah, you need extension cables. I got them all. 250 pounds on a 100-pound bike. BBS HD 1000. I'm surprised the power fall off when the battery drops below. Yeah, there is quite a bit of power drop off, especially depending on your battery too. That's going to play a big difference. Yeah, definitely Fab 7. Be careful with your impact. Don't go crazy. Put on the lowest setting, or just be mindful of it. Thomas Henry will be reaching out, but just to give you an idea of what I'm looking for, my wife's a live suede, and mine is a giant cypress. There's something coming out I should wait for. No, not really. I mean, the Bafangs are just bulletproof. I would just go, if you're thinking about getting a new kit, go with a BBS 02. Those things are bulletproof. Things are awesome. Things are pretty cheap. They're super easy to install. I would just put 2 BBS 02s on your bikes, and you'll be happy as a clam. Did you know that CYC offers adapters to change bottom bracket sizes? Yes, I carry all of them here. If you need something, at least for their photons, I have all the adapter kits. If you need to go from 68 to 120, BB92 to 100, whatever, I carry all that stuff. Yeah, Randy Brewer, you missed out. You must have missed my other thing. I always recommend do not use the Speed app. That one causes a lot of glitches in stuff. Use the pen-off version. It's on my program cable product page. It's It's rock solid. It will not cause you any glitches. And there's also a programming guide on my product page. Check that out. All right, I'm going to do 2 more questions, and then I'm going to jump off here. Wire stretcher. I thought maybe you mentioned this. Wire stretcher? I don't know what that is. Sorry, I just don't know what that is. Winky D needs battery education. I think most people do. It's crazy how little people know about batteries. Yeah, it's frighteningly crazy how little people know. I do want to make a video kind of giving people the basics. I want to offer training on that just so like if you know nothing, at least, hey, this is what you want to be looking at. This is what you want to be careful of. Mastodon. That's something. I forget what Mastodon is. Isn't that like Twitter or something like that? All right. All right. Well, anyways, just want to say thanks, guys. I got a video coming out this Friday on the 2.7 motor. It's a little sneak peek video, so check that out on Friday. Just a little overview. It's not really like a performance test or anything. Those will be coming out later, but it is kind of checking it out. So check that video out. Appreciate you guys watching this, staying up late the night before Thanksgiving. A lot of us got to get ready. So I'm going to let you guys go. Head to JohnnyNerdOut.com. We're still running that 5% off sale through the end of the year while supplies last. So yeah, we just got the 52 volt Jumbo Sharks back in stock right now. The 52 volt 25 amp hours. Those are huge. They're Jumbo Shark, super easy mountable. We do have the 52 volt 28.8 amp hour triangle packs. We got the 52 volt 28 amp hour rear rack batteries. We're getting batteries in stock now. We got tons of motors in stock. Yeah, batteries, we're good to go. So while supplies last, everything is 5% off. All right, later, guys. Have a good one.